Well, people, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. A lot of you have asked me to talk about the Texas special election that just went down. There's a little bit of warning here. There's also a little bit of not so fast, Team Blue. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing right now. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, we are saving the country together. And every time that you join us, you give us more power to dispel more and more propaganda. And through your efforts of sharing, emoting, and commenting and chatting, you spread the message just by default. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to have a little bit of a warning for the Republicans here, but I'm also going to have a little bit of a backhand for the Democrats. It's going to be amazing. Let's get into it. Okay, you can follow me on X at Braden LOA. Of course, I'd love to have you over there, have a great conversation. There's a more direct line to me, but we've got to talk about something comical. So, there was a special election in Texas yesterday, Saturday. And there was a victory for the Democrats. And of course, predictably, the Democrats, the leftists, the progressives, all the talking heads, all the paid accounts on X, it's the end of the world, blue tsunami. Is there a word bigger for water than tsunami? Blue tidal wave? I mean, I don't even know. But apparently, it was going to be so crazy that they're now applying what happened in Texas yesterday with a plus 13 overperformance. I'm going to explain why that's not that big of a deal in a second, to the National Electoral College. And this is what they're actually putting out. You talk about being addicted to your own copium. They're saying that's the Electoral College. Democrats are going to get 349 Electoral College votes and Republicans are going to get 86. Or excuse me, is that actually hold on a second. No, that's actually county, so that's actually representation. That's what they're saying is going to be. It's going to be 349 in Congress to 86 Republicans. Come on. Anyway, this is what they're spreading out. This is the hopium that they are so mainlining, trying to hope to God to push over the finish line. But I'm going to actually show you some reality, because this right here does show an overperformance for Democrats. Again, this is all the special elections since the Trump election in 2024. What you're seeing here, and let me zoom in a little bit, and then I'll break all this down for you guys, and let me hear you in the comments if I'm over the target, if I'm landing the planes. All of these special elections across the board have been overperformances of either 25, 16, 22, 19, 19, 8, 14, and 32 in all of these special elections, again, at state level or in congressional level. Most of these are state level. Now, why is this something that the left is hanging their hat on? Because they think that there's a massive overperformance, and they think that everyone hates the Republicans and everyone hates Donald Trump, and they think that they are going to win every single bit of power back in the midterms. Even though it's not a presidential, they're still going to pull it out of the hat and do it, right? The only problem is this is about Republican turnout. This is not about Democrat policies. This is about Republican turnout. And I'm about to shift into the actual race in question here in the Texas Senate seat, which, by the way, is there's a lot of comedy here. So this one right here is the Politico article. That's what I'm about to be opening. Everything is linked in the description box below if you'd like to follow. But here's the takeaways. Democrat wins reliably Republican Texas state Senate seat, stunning the GOP. This is in a state-level Senate race. Again, I want to show you some very important details here which kind of frame what we're talking about. Democrat Taylor Ramett won a special election for the Texas State Senate on Saturday, flipping a reliably Republican district that President Donald Trump won by 17 points in 2024. So this is the special election turnout thing. That's what this is. But here's the reality. And if you're in Texas, this little part right here is important for you to understand. This guy's not even going to see a Senate session. Remett's victory also allows him to serve until early January, and he must win the November general election to keep the seat for a full four-year term. The Texas legislature is not set to reconvene until 2027, and the GOP still will have a comfortable majority. So, on the Texas front, they aren't even close to getting anything important. And the other part is this guy's never going to serve until he gets another election this coming November with the general. So this is literally nothing to do with Texas. He will not have a hand in any part of any governing in Texas. Okay? But, big but, you have to understand what they're talking about and the backstory here, because they would have you believe that the Democrats have outperformed everything. It is over. Oh my God, why do they even try? I mean, it is incredible. Our message is so on point. Again, that is not what's happening right now. I'm going to show you in a lot of these. This is still something to be very fully aware of, because you have a motivation and a voter turnout problem. on the Republican side. But let me show you what Dana Lash is saying, and this is very good commentary she's adding here. He only won because the first November election prior to the runoff was split by 2 GOP. It's funny that the other talking heads and all the leftists and all the media and the Politico, they aren't saying anything about the split runoff or the 2 different Republicans splitting the vote in Texas, only that the Democrat outperformed. Again, the Democrat did win, but you have to understand what happened prior. There were 2 people splitting the ticket, and there were less Republicans that showed up to unify that vote, which led to the Democrat winning. I'm going to show you all of it right now, but here we go. He would have lost if just versus 1 Republican. He will only hold this seat until the end of the year when he has to run and try to win it again. It's not the earthquake that you think it is, talking to a lefty. And here's the actual vote totals, and this is important. Context is incredibly important. So, she says he had a strong showing because of the split ticket. And as you can see here, and this is where the warning for the Republicans comes in, Taylor Emmett had 56,000 votes at 47.57. The 2 Republicans combined had right around 61,000 votes. So they would have won. Not the same margins, but they would have won. Now, this is the important part. Lee W., can't say the name. Lee W. had 42,000 votes. The other individual, John Huffman, had 19,000 votes, and this is both on the Republican split ticket. When you go down to the general, which is right here, you can see that Lee W. lost to the Democrat. Democrat had 54,000 votes. Pryor had 56,000. The Democrat actually lost Democratic votes. Okay, this is not every Republican went and voted Democrat. The Democrat actually lost votes, 56,000 right here, down here to 54,000. Now, this is the important part, and this is the warning to Republicans, because this is very vital. The approval ratings of everything that is happening are off the roof on Republicans. The Republicans are extremely loyal, very, very loyal, completely unified, like in the 95 plus range. Okay, it's not a defection of Republican policies. It's a motivation to actually get out and vote that's showing up. Look, so you see Lee W. right here, 40,000 votes. Lee W. up here had 42,000 votes. So you're missing 22,000 Republican votes that just didn't go and vote, and now the Democrat won. The Republican, if those 2 had unified, would have won 62,000 to 54,000, which would have been a significant margin of victory. But because the Republican turnout the vote or get out the vote or whatever you want to call it didn't show up, and the Republicans were not motivated to vote in this special election, that's what happened. You had 22,000 more Republicans show up in the first time over here with the general election versus, versus the special election yesterday. This is where the payoff is, because this is what you have to look for. The Democrats actually lost votes on this, but the Republicans did not motivate 22,000 people who voted in the first one to go out and vote. That's why the Democrat won. It's very important. You can see right there, there's about 30,000 people missing. All right, now let's keep on going. This is from General Flynn. General Flynn said, breaking 2026 midterm election update. This may be anecdotal only, but it is an important indicator nonetheless. I'm being told voter turnout was horrible in this election cited below, the one in Texas. Numbers in the 2022 midterms were 288,000. Yesterday, turnout was 94,000. No accountability equals no show at the polls. I can't tell you the reason why Republicans are not motivated to vote at this moment in time. It could be accountability. It could be affordability. It could just be comfort and complacency. I have no idea what it is. But here's the bottom line. You have everything going for you on the Republican side. And I'll dive into this more in my live stream tonight. You have so much going for you. You have the momentum. They're doing everything that you want. Most of the things you wanted. Other things are still coming. You've got prices going down, mortgages going down, rent going down, groceries going down, gas is going down, interest rates are going down. It's all going down. And Republicans are still complacent. My guess is Republicans are very, very comfortable with the idea that they're in power in all the different sectors of the House, and like the House, the Senate, and the White House, and they have started focusing on other things. That's what my observation would be. But if we do not turn out and we do not get out the vote and we do not show up in these midterms, you're going to see the Democrat flip to the House. They're not going to get the Senate, but you'll see it to the House. That's a very real thing. It all comes down to motivation to vote. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.